I saw when I was a kid, I saw Longest Stay when it first opened. And then I have been to Normandy and been to all of those sites, probably as a result of seeing that movie, that my interest was in actually going to the real place and like Point de Hoc where the Rangers climbed up.
Mm-hmm.
And the Orne River Bridge, been there, although with that one, they've replaced the bridge. The bridge looks quite similar to the one in the movie, but they took the original bridge and they moved it off into a field so you can still visit the original bridge. It's just
Good.
sort of right in the corner. You can walk to it. Uh, but that little village is pretty much the same as what you see in the movie. But yeah, seeing that movie piqued my interest in that whole thing, and visiting Normandy is it's marvelous because it hasn't changed that much since D-Day.
No, it's incredible. It's a great movie to see, and I don't know that we'll ever see it scale again. And it was just amazing that, I mean, yeah, you had cited the naval, contingent and all these other elements because that was you couldn't, those elements had to be real at that time. And there's just so many personalities that Zanuck thought to include. And I've heard people talk about the movie being sort of an anthem of patriotism at times, and it gets that way with like Rod Steiger and that, but it doesn't take away from the movie for me. And even when like the German pilots are like, we're gonna go die for Hitler today. It's the two guys or
Right.
whatever, and they're like drunk, but whatever, just and they just take this awesome. It's like from their point of view when they fly over the beach, and you're like, it looked like they had 40,000 extras.
That phenomenal helicopter shot where they go over in this explosions and
Yeah.
there's thousands of soldiers ducking down on the dirt as the thing flies. I mean, that's an incredible shot. It's like wow.
Yeah, and Mitchum's got that great line where he's like, okay, there's only two people that are gonna remain on this beach, those that are gonna die and those that are already dead. It's
Right.
just like there's just he, it was smart to give everyone their moment. I mean, everyone has like their opportunity to shine, and the thing has got such scope and scale to it.
Yeah,
I was thinking, what
there was
go
the thing on that where Zanuck he would have various talent agents and his scouts or secretaries or whatever just culling the world to see what actor has a week available.
right.
And it would be Richard Burton was stuck in Rome doing Cleopatra, and they called him up and said, "How'd you like to get away from that for a couple of weeks? Come shoot for us." And that's how they got Richard Burton. He was so happy to just get me the hell off this set for a couple of weeks. They did that with a lot of actors, so they kept having to shift their entire schedule. He said, "Shit, we got Henry Fonda for 2 weeks, but it's got to be starting Monday." So they would switch everything around. Just an amazing piece of producing.
Yeah, incredible. And Fonda, I think, plays Roosevelt, right? One of the
Theodore
Roosevelts.
Roosevelt Jr., yes.
Yeah, and he hides his cane so he can talk his way into going ashore with the
Mm.
first wave, and like he's hiding his arthritis or something. Really, really enthralling film. One of my favorites. I remember they would show it over 2 nights on television when we were kids, and we'd be like, "What?" And the majority of that cast showed up again for Wolper in Bridget Remagen. He hired most of those guys. They all show up again in a
Yeah.
movie, and I kind of wonder what if like it was like a mini reunion. It was like but it's just the the idea of it, like the audacity of the production, like Zanuck stepping foot on Omaha Beach and being like, here's what we're gonna do. And
Right.
there would have been discussions of like, let's cut out the Rangers going up the cliff. They would have always, studio tip now would try to trim it all back let's get rid of the French resistance. But man, it's got it. Like there's things in there that happen. I've never seen the outtakes to it. I'm sure there's mountains of them because there's characters that come in and go, and you're like, what? There must have been more to that. Like a lot of the German characters, they kind of step like there's a guy that's machine gunned in the beginning for like the plans he's carrying in the attaché case.
Yes.
And then they don't really, what's that?
Yeah. It goes nowhere.
Yeah. And you kind of wonder, like, I bet there was more to it, but Zanuck probably said, we can't have a 6-hour movie. That's where I draw the line. But man, it is definitely a must see, and they did not hold back.
Hello, my name is Simon Williamson. Help us find a cure for NMOSD, neuromyelitis optica spectrum disorder, and with it, cancer. Please go to the Guthrie Jackson Foundation and donate if you can.